It's funny, over the weekend, I made a video for you guys predicting that the stock market was going to have a mini crash when the markets opened today. Lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. So here it is. I don't know if you can see it. Wall Street Journal, Dow crashes, okay? Mini crash, not a mega crash. So we're going to talk about this a little bit today. How did I know this was going to happen? How do I manage to sort of like call these things, right? Is it that I'm a genius? Is it that I'm an oracle? Blah, 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 blah. Look, we all know I'm a genius. All right, it's a joke. Relax, guys. I'm kidding. So, look, here's the deal. I want to teach you guys about this, all right? Because it's important for you to learn it, all right? And then we're going to talk about the implications, which are pretty dire, because I think most of you are getting very bad financial advice, all right? And you're taking a bath because of this. And this is an extremely risky period in world history. I don't like seeing you guys out there getting terrible advice that is costing you a lot of money. All right, and I'll come back to that. So how did I know that the markets were going to melt down as soon as they opened on Monday? Bang, like that, right? It's funny, I just uploaded this video yesterday, and it came true in less than 24 hours. So the reason that this happened, right, and I talked about this a little bit in one of the previous videos, right, where I predicted it. And you can go back and watch that one and see exactly the rationale that I laid out. So what happened today is that rationale came true. All right, so what happened on Liberation Day when Trump announced his tariffs was that the markets crashed, okay, 20, 30% depending on the market. After that, they bounced back up. And the reason they bounced back up was because the markets believed in a thing called taco. Trump always chickens out, which means that they thought the tariffs never really existed or weren't going to exist for the long term, okay? Notwithstanding the fact the US government has been collecting these tariffs since Liberation Day, right? So markets never priced in the risk here. And that's a theme that I want you guys to understand. Our markets aren't pricing in risk, our leaders aren't pricing in risk, our institutions aren't pricing in risk, you are not pricing in risk, your finance guys aren't pricing in risk, all right? So sorry if I sound irritated about that. I am irritated about that. Like I said, I don't like seeing you guys take a bath. So this is why I set up Havens, right? It's this mini hedge fund you can subscribe to. I think the link is below. I'll talk more about that too. So what happened, right, is that now the markets bounced back up after Liberation Day, not believing that the tariffs were for real. So the Supreme Court struck down the tariffs, right? And you would think the markets would be euphoric. Bang, big bang, right? That's what a lot of people expected. They thought, well, the Supreme Court will strike down the tariffs, and then we'll have a big boom in the stock market. Exactly the opposite happened. The reason for that is that Trump then just went and decided to do even more tariffs. And we know he's not going to stop now, right? We should have known it at the beginning. Right? We all know what kind of figure Trump is, right? We all know that the fascist collapse happening in America is for real. We should all know that the price to be paid is real too. So the markets bounced down 20, 30% on Liberation Day. They went back up. Supreme Court ruled against the tariffs. Trump put in even more tariffs. Now the markets have to contend with the fact that the tariffs are for real. Okay, they spent the whole last year in delusion that this was all going to magically go away and things would be fine. And your finance guys tell you that, right? I know this because tons of you do one-on-one sessions with me, and I hear this from you guys all the time. My finance guys says everything will be fine, man. Don't worry about it. Does anything look fine to you? Doesn't look fine to me. Doesn't look fine to the world. So now the markets have to contend with the fact that the tariffs are for real. Okay, and in the beginning, on Liberation Day, they slid, crashed 20, 30%. Today, mini crash, right? 2, 3%, something like that, depending on the market, how you add it up, right? So 2, 3%, 20, 30%. 20, 30% was the initial shock of the tariffs are for real. Bounced back up, down 2, 3%. That 20, 30% tells us we have a long way down to go. Okay? Does that make sense? Right? So that's the floor, right? That 20, 30% is when the markets initially thought, oh, the tariffs are for real. This is how much this is going to cost. Roughly, because we're all guessing, right? Then they thought the tariffs were imaginary, bounced back up. Now they're starting to slide again because now they know this stuff is for real, all right? So I hope that explanation makes sense. And it's not that I really even want you to focus on, right? I want you to focus on the microdynamics. I've taught you a little bit here about how markets work. Now I want you to focus on that so much. It's important for you to know. But it's really the bigger picture stuff I want you to focus on, which is that for the last year or so, we've all been beating around the bush. Maybe this will all be fine. Maybe it will all go away. That's what your finance guys are saying. That's what Wall Street is saying. That's what leaders are saying. That's what the Democratic Party is saying. That's what the GOP is saying. Whatever, right? Doesn't matter. Go down the list. This stuff is for real. And the risk has to be priced in. And the risk is going to be priced in now. Okay? Now, that puts a lot of people's wealth at severe risk. All right? If you understand that, then you probably understand that this age of funny money is now coming to an end. All right? And by that, I mean this world in which stock markets, especially US stock markets, can magically just keep going up and up and up and up. And in America, people have come to think of the stock market as a perpetual money machine, right? So they're shocked when the market even slides by like today, right? Some relatively small amount, 2-3%. But that age is coming to an end now, for sure, right? Trump is making America uninvestable, okay? These macro dynamics, risk, are for real. We haven't even gotten into the AI side of things yet, which I'll talk to you more about in the future. All right, so that's sort of how I predict this, by understanding that macro risk is for real, right? The market was saying another thing. And the market is your finance guys. The market is Wall Street. The market is all the people who tell you everything will be fine. The funny money machine will go on until kingdom come. America can have a fascist meltdown, be a pariah state with no real friends, allies, relationships, trading partners, and everything will be fine. The stock market will keep going up. Does that sound right to you? Doesn't sound right to me, right? So that's sort of why I created Havens, because I think that all these risks, which I call macro risks, are for real, okay? Typical guys, finance, Wall Street, whatever, don't think they're for real. I think that the proof is in the pudding, right? Havens is up 30, 40, 50% over the last year. Astronomical, right? Just crushing returns. Because macro risk is for real. And today, when the stock market slid, Havens rose, all right? So that's why I describe Havens as a hedge fund, as a mini hedge fund that you can subscribe to. All right, so I hope that was helpful. Just a little bit of explanation, a little bit of guidance, a little bit of teaching. I'm going to make some more videos for you guys talking about all this stuff. Any comments, any questions, anything you want me to talk about, just let me know, okay? Thank you.